In this video, we're going to learn how to create a poster using Google Drawings, including a picture. You'll have one power word, like the word success, a quote. You can do anything you set your mind to. The author of the quote. In the lower right corner, in a very small font, you will have poster by your name and photo by whoever the author of the photo is. You will need a solid background, green, black, dark colors do well for display purposes. This poster does not get printed, so a nice solid black background looks very nice. You will also put a border around your picture. The first step is to go to File, Page Setup, and set the dimensions from Standard to Custom. Change the 10 to 11, the 7.5 to 8.5. This is a standard 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, horizontal. Click OK. The next step, turn on your guides and show ruler. And this just helps you with overall positioning. That is an optional step as far as showing the guides. You can turn your guides on and off by clicking the option to show guides. Now we're going to click and create our first text box. Insert, text box. At first, it does not matter how big the text box is, but it should go approximately most of the distance of the page in the lower 1/3 section. This is for our power word. So we're going to click and drag out our box. It can be reshaped later. At first, the font will be quite small, and we're going to type in our power word. Now I am typing in lowercase because I can change it to all caps automatically. And just in case I want to change it to a lowercase, I'm going to type it in lowercase with a capital F, capital I, capital O. Then I'm going to do a Control A to select all, Control Shift E to center, and I'm going to make the font bigger. Now the keyboard shortcut that we have not learned, but will do so now, is Control Shift and then period, or the greater sign. And I can just hold it down and make it larger. I'm going to do a Control B to make it bold. You can also click and drag to a different font size. But by using the keyboard shortcut, you can go in between the sizes of 48 and 60, and in between 60 and 72. Of course, you can also double click the size and choose. We're generally looking for a font size of 72, which equals a 1-inch letter. The next step is to create an additional text box. All text, all 4 different levels of text need to go into different text boxes. So we're going to insert text box, click a little bit lower, and drag out a new box. Don't worry about the size so much, but generally try to get it approximately right. And in this one, we're going to paste in our quote. Now I've already gotten the quote, so I'll just simply paste. It's white, so you don't see it, so I'm going to undo. And where you'll go for the quote is to the focus. On the focus is the word quote, or on the instruction page. You can also click on quote. And here are hundreds of quotes that I've acquired over the years. You may use the Control F to search for a keyword of your choice based on the quote that you would like to find. For example, happiness, type in HAPP. But so that you get both happy and happiness, do not type either the Y or the I, and you'll find all occurrences of both happy and happiness. Let's say you would like to find opportunity. OPP leads you to 55 different occurrences of op. And you can go ahead and keep adding letters on. You'll see it narrows the search down. The quote that I would like to use for this poster is going to read, "There is more merit in figuring it out on your own than the teacher telling you the answer." So I'm going to copy it just to show you that I did, but it is white text. So when I paste it in, you're not going to immediately see that. So we're going to do a Control V to paste, and I'm going to do a Control A to select, and there you can see the white text. And just for the time being, I'm going to make that text, the color, I'm going to make it light gray. I don't want it to be black because I want it to show up. We'll have to make it a little bit darker right there. All right, so we're going to click out that text box, and now we're going to go grab our picture. Now you can move text boxes around by clicking on the edge. You can click on more than one text box by holding down the Shift key, and you can move both text boxes up at the same time. And we'll move those around a little bit more in just a minute. So I'm going to go to photos.google.com, in which I already have a picture pulled up. You'll need to change the account in the upper right hand corner and go to your personal Gmail account. So I am in photos.google.com, and I'm going to type in the word construction because I'd like to find a picture of when I built a chicken coop, which was more difficult than anything else I'd done. So I'd like to use it as an example from a poster. So I'm looking for construction, and there's the picture. Once I get to the full-size image, I'm going to right-click, copy the image. I'm going to go to the poster, and I'm going to paste. The picture is immediately ready to move. I can click on the edge of the box, use my nudge tools to nudge down. Now I'm going to insert a shape and just choose a rectangle, and I'm going to click and drag out that rectangle. Now at first that box is going to be above the rest of my elements. So I'm going to go to Arrange, Order, and Send to Back. Now it is behind my picture. While it is still selected, I'm going to change the color to black. Then I'm going to click on the picture, and I'm going to put a white 8-point border. You may certainly choose a different width or color. And let's change the color to white, and I'm going to go back to 8-point. Makes it pop off the page. Now you'll notice I lost my title. It is there, but you can't see it because it's black text. So while the text box is selected, I'm going to choose the font color, and I'm going to make it white. And I'm going to go ahead and make this font white as well. You can either select all of the text by doing a Control A, or you can click on the edge of the box a second time and click on the font color change and make it white. Now you'll notice that my box is not quite big enough for the text. It doesn't really matter. But I'm going to Shift select both of those text boxes and move them up. At this point now, it would be helpful to have our guides on. So I'm going to show the guides. This allows me to center the picture. If it's off center, you'll see that the blue dot is off. Once I get close, I'm going to use the nudge keys. That's the arrow keys. Shift nudge moves it just a little bit, and arrow key, just the nudge key, moves it 5 pixels, and shift arrow key moves it 1 pixel. So you'll use a combination of moving with the mouse as well as moving with the arrow keys. I'm going to make another text box for the author of this quote. Insert, text box, and I'm going to click below it and go up just so I don't accidentally touch the other text box. and I'm going to type in a tilde, then a space, then George, Loker, and then space, then a tilde. It is black text, so I'm going to do a Control A, and I'm going to center justify. That's a Control Shift E, or you can click the button, and then I'm going to make the text white. Now the instructions are for you to use a formal quote by a known person so that you can give credit to the author of the quote. Now, as far as I know, I made this quote up, so I'm giving myself credit here. Unfortunately, I do not want you to make up your own quote. In the lower right corner, I'm going to insert another text box, and this one is going to read, and I'm going to go ahead and change it to white text so you can go ahead and see it as I type it. This one's going to read Poster by George Loker. It didn't fit, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and pull that out right there so all of that fits on one line. Then I'm going to hit the Enter or Return key and type Photo by Amy Loker because she's the one that took the picture. I'm going to do a Control A to select all. I'm going to center justify. That's a Control Shift E or click the mouse. And then I'm going to make this a font size 8 so it just barely shows up on the page. It will be quite small. I'll click on the edge of the box and then use my arrow keys to nudge it into the corner. And there you have it. That is our poster almost nearly perfectly done in less than 15 minutes. You will take just a little bit more time and move your boxes into perfect positioning. And I would give you 100 on that assignment, assuming you did your homework. You may rewind and pause as necessary. When you are done, you'll go ahead and ask for proofing. Please do make sure that there are no red underlines. One thing I did notice after I paused is that there is an orphan where a comma and one word appears from the sentence before. So depending on the font size and depending on the size of your box, you might have to do a little work on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the quote box just a little bit bigger so that the word own, or that word right there, goes to the line above. So I'm going to have to keep, there it goes right there. Okay, so there is more merit in figuring it out on your own, comma, and then it goes to a new line. So each person's poster is going to be a little different depending on your quote. So work with that so that the end of line and commas all work out nicely for your quote. All right, hope that helps, and good luck getting finished. Once you get it approved, you can go ahead and click the Turn In button.